I was 21 years old when I headed home from Penn State with a bachelor's degree, no job, and no car. My parents were happy to see me, and they weren't quite sure why I went to college anyway, but there I was. So I was stuck in that place of how do you get a job without a car? How do you get a car without a job? Do you know that place? You know. So luckily, I was engaged to a person who had gotten a job and had bought himself a Camaro and had this old Duster that he didn't really need anymore. And since we're engaged and everything, he gave me a deal and sold it to me for $300. It should have been a red flag, but I missed it. But I was happy to have the car, and he didn't make me pay right away because I didn't have any money. So I brought the Dodge Duster home, and Dad took a look at it, and it was a hot mess, but he, kind of tuned it up for me. And I got a job, and off to work I went, 45-minute drive, because where we live, pretty much everything was 45 minutes away. So got in that Duster and headed out. And, when I got in it, it would start really good. Then if I stopped, because I don't know, I needed gas or I wanted a drink or something, when I got back in the car, it didn't like to start so much then once it was already warm. So I had to call my dad a few times. Like other stories, no cell phones then. I don't even really remember how I figured that out, but I don't know, you found phones, you kept, change in your car and stuff like that. So call for my dad, wait for him to drive to come and get me. So my dad's figuring it out, like, what's going on with this car? So he tells me, Debbie, this is what you have to do. All you need to do is because something with the carburetor. Just know I'm talking about something I know very little about, nothing about. But I don't think carburetors are in cars anymore. But anyway, all that being said, you get in, you lift the hood up. The carburetor was kind of this pipey thing. I'm going to use a lot of technical language. I'm not trying to be intimidating. But, it was kind of like this, and it had this little flappy thing in it. And my dad said, you need to put your finger in it and push the flap down. I see you doing it. Yep. And you need to push the flap down. Now, if you're with me, you might be thinking, if she's in under the hood with her finger holding the little flappy thing down, then how does she start her engine? But don't worry, because my dad said all you need to do is you get your jack handle. Now, jack handles back then were significant. Like now I get one, I'm like, is this really? But it was like this significant piece of metal with a little bendy thing on the end that you use to get the things off your tires when you have to change your tire, which I know how to do, even though I don't know the names for everything. But so you just get the jack handle and you hold on to the little bendy end, and then while you're holding the carburetor flappy thing down, then you touch the engine in a certain spot that it will spark. And then you get a hold of the thing under the hood where when you pull on it, it's like putting the gas pedal in. Vroom! You got it? And that's how you start the engine. And so that worked like a lot of the time. And so it also was quite impressive because I'd be here and there and anywhere. And men, of course, would try to come and help me, which was nice. And, there I was, my 21-year-old, 100-pound self, in under my hood, pushing the flappy thing down, starting it up like that. Vroom! And they'd say, that's pretty cool. And I'd say that my dad taught me how to do that, right? So, time goes by. It's about a year later. I'm getting ready to marry the person that sold me that piece of shit. And my dad says to my fiance, he says, you know what? He said, you can have her and that car. And that sounds really mean, and my dad could be mean, but actually it was hilarious. And one of the funniest things I remember about anything my dad said to me. And so these days, I spend time with my dad, and it's kind of sad because he's often just seems to be having some regrets about his life, saying, what if I'd been smarter? What if I had done better in school? What if I had learned to read? And I say to him, Dad, you did good. You took good care of your family, and there was lots of love and laughter.